Here we are, and we're live.
Just barely made it.
I know, no prep talk, no nothing.
Nothing.
Like, how the fuck are we supposed to function?
Oh no, I guess we have to gossip on the air.
Oh boy, have I got some gossip?
Oh yeah, because
it's storming out here, like really fucking bad. It just came out of nowhere, so if I drop, I'll try to get back in. But
okay,
because that wind is sucked out there.
Because it was storming that bad the other day. No, actually, was it last night? No, it was the night before. But it really didn't do much.
It's cutting up out here. Right. Good morning, everyone. It is July 19th, 2024. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what
one day closer to the actual apocalypse.
Oh well, so when do you come over here again?
7 weeks and 4 days.
Not that you're counting, right?
Okay, hold up. No, that's wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, ma'am. 6 weeks.
6 weeks. Oh, there you go.
6
there you
weeks.
go. Yeah.
You're looking forward to the cuddle.
No, absolutely. I get to clean my house. Gives me a reason to clean my house and scrape the cat vomit underneath the sofa that I just found. You know, it's probably been there for weeks. I'm like, wait, what the heck?
Oh, that's easy then. Then you just get a paint scraper. It's like a cookie.
Right. Yeah, that's what I have to do. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, my God. You ready for this bullshit?
Absolutely not, but hit it.
Trigger warning. Fuck you.
And here we are. Good morning.
Good morning. Is that clip from the same show as the other one? As the fuck you? Fuck you.
Oh no. That's different. That's the Kickstarter one.
That's the what?
Kickstarter.
Oh, okay. So they're all.
Yeah. Oh, and I found some great ones, but I keep fucking forgetting. It's the same.
I got one. When I first heard about Dave being trapped in a maze, I was like, well, at least he's not sucking a big veiny dick for Kickstarter money.
That's not how Kickstarter works.
Exactly yes, it is. That's exactly how Kickstarter works.
Oh my goodness. Good morning, everybody, for another. What is today? Today's Friday. Okay.
I forgot to tell people what day it was. Okay. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I don't know because God knows I forgot what day it was. You know, because it's like.
Good morning, Dustin.
Hey, Dustin.
HR.
No,
hey, everybody.
No,
we got
these are not the cookies
us.
we are looking for.
This is the worst show. Why are you guys?
I know it really is. It really is. So good morning, everybody in the chat. HR, Dustin. Who else was there?
People. Al Scott, HR.
Hello,
good morning.
And yes, I see you, my beautiful eyeball people watching us from regions beyond. And while you're here, if you're joining us from Facebook, if you're joining us from LinkedIn, hopefully you're not running anything on a Microsoft network. And because of that, you should always come on over to YouTube, join the sexy people in the chat, keep everybody company, and make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you get notified whenever any of our shows go live. Unless you're a Microsoft IT guy. Oh my goodness. It's like, I guess. You know what? Let's get into introductions.
All right, let's do that.
Let's say, so hello, everyone. My name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992, and you know what that means.
I got nowhere else to go! I got nowhere else to go! I got nothing else.
Yo.
And I am known for the furry fantasy adventure Tall Tales, which returns to Kickstarter later on this year with the first trade paperback of Tears of the Mother story arc, which collects issues 1 through 4 of this 8-issue limited series. And I am also known for my medieval fantasy drama, Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn. Thank you, everybody who pledged to the campaign, which closed out Friday. Yeah, it closed last Friday. Thank you so much for another successful campaign in the books. The trade paperbacks have been ordered. I will be putting together the order for the individual comics that I sold on the campaign today. So so surveys have gone out. So if you haven't filled out your survey, please go ahead and fill out that survey because I want to send you your stuff. Thank you very much.
This.
Yes. And
the PNG. Fuck.
Oh, it's the PNG. Well, it's like, hello. You can see right through it. Yes, and also coming up, later, actually August 19th, launching August 19th is the first House of Bob sketchbook, Fetish Fantasy, which is a collection of all of some of my furry fetish artwork, along with a remaster of an old fandom classic, Mondo Bondo. So it's 2 sketchbooks on this campaign, which is going to start off a series, I guess like a sketchbook series that, you know what, that it's like I finally found a format that I liked, and this is going to be the start of it. So more sketchbooks coming up, but these are the first 2. Fetish Fantasy and Mondo Bondo launching.
Coming. No, it's coming.
It's launching.
Coming August 19th.
August 19th. So link is in the show notes to the pre-launch page. So make sure you check that out, so you get notified when the campaign goes live. And you can, in the meantime, you can read both my comics online at egoworks.com. That's EGOWORKS, and Tall Tales, TAILS online.com. And you can check out all my videos on how I make my comics here on YouTube at Daphne Lage, LAGE Art. Almost 600 videos and live streams of how I do my artwork and whatever other nonsense I might come to that comes up, and it is all simulcast through the Indie Comics Network. And to tell you more about it, here's Nita.
Bruh, it sounds like I'm about to go to Oz.
Oh no!
Holy shit!
Does it sound like a train?
It doesn't, but that was a rolling thunder. Okay, so anyway, my name is Nita Lanning, and I own the Google account that runs the Indie Comics Network, which is basically my YouTube channel that I share with my friends. I am a marketer and vlogger. I work for companies such as Ethereal Comics, Lone Wolf Comics, and Saltara Comics. So there's that. And yeah.
Right. Duh. Oh, and there's and because of those companies, there's a couple of campaigns for everybody to check out.
Oh yeah, there's absolutely a few campaigns. Check out in the show notes. Ethereal's running 2 right now. We've got If It Hops, which is coming soon. These furry books are coming soon.
I know.
Nice covers on it. Check it out. It's an anthropomorphic buddy cop type adventure with it's fun. Let's see. Saltara has Mal Die in Hell in pre-launch. Let's see. JD's book, Dreamweavers.
Oh yeah, Dreamweavers is on
launch. Yes. We've got, check out the show notes. We've got all kinds of stuff coming up. Rob Motori is currently live with Wolfpack Pups, which is a plushie campaign. But if you missed out on Night Wolves Volume 1 and 2, those are available within the campaign as well. And there's also something in there for the kitties if you got some. So
so there you go. Yeah, no, I definitely. Yeah, I just had to have that Rodney plush. I couldn't help it. Because Rob showed us the prototype, and when he showed the little
there's jacket, Wolf Daddy.
Hey Rob, when he showed the little Daddy. It's the jacket. It's the little red jacket that does it. Thank you, Dan. Yeah, that's kind of how we run it here. It's kind of like a stream of consciousness or whatever our ADHD.
We try to keep it comics, but it never stays there.
It's whatever our ADHD allows to come out.
And just hopefully one of us is rooted enough to bring it back around sometimes.
Exactly.
But sometimes we're not, and we can go off on everything. Pony rides to Menses, it doesn't matter.
It's right. Well, well, that is true. Yes.
It's very true.
Oh my goodness. So like I said, Eagle Raven closed out last Friday. I already placed the initial order for the trade paperback. I'm going to be placing. So today, if you haven't, so today is I guess like it's the last day for people to correct any payment issues that they have with Kickstarter. So I was waiting for this day in order to place the rest of my order. The reason why I placed the trades order early or as early as possible was because they take a lot longer to get to me. So hopefully, because I sent the order in early, maybe if I'm lucky, I'll have the books by the first week of August, if not by the 5th. Like I said, they take longer. The individual comics usually take a lot less time.
Right.
But usually everything kind of like arrives at the same time. So we should be okay. The idea is that by the end of August, either I should be shipping or I should be done shipping for this campaign. So that's what's going on with that. And like I said, if you haven't filled out your survey yet, please fill out your survey. I like to send out the books that people paid for. I don't need it in my house because you want it in your house. So if you ordered books and you haven't filled out your survey, please fill out your survey. So that when I get the books, I can get everything out as quickly as possible. And if you haven't updated your payment option because of whatever issue, please rectify that today, or else you're not going to get anything because Kickstarter is going to completely drop you from the campaign.
Didn't Kickstarter just make some new updates to the backer shit? The backer surveys?
Well, yeah, they did. Actually, I like it.
I got asked for my address for digital.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck is that?
Well, now I think what it is
Stalkers.
is that now it's just easier to ask everybody to fill out a survey to just.
But
ask.
You know what that meant for me? That
What?
means that I'm going to have to stop backing some. Trades that I back physically now for a lot of people that I'm interested in. I don't just back anything. I'm not rich like that.
Right.
But I get digitals just to support people. But
Right.
There's a lot of people in this industry I don't want having my home address.
Oh, I see.
So what the fuck are we supposed to do about that? Because I've
Right.
backed people digitally to show support, but I wouldn't want this person knocking on my fucking door, if you know what I mean.
You see, technically, if it's because technically they still have your email already.
Right. Which is where the shit goes.
So even if you don't fill out your survey, if you just order digital items, if you don't fill out your survey, you still should get your stuff because
even if it shows I didn't complete it?
Right. Because I've had people not fill out because before it's like I would send surveys.
I've just never been asked for it on a digital before.
Like saying, oh, you want to be added to my mailing list, right? And I've had people not bother. According to Pat Chan, that glitch has been
good because that's creepy.
Well, also just seems like a waste of time,
right?
Because if it's a digital order, why would you need?
Why does it matter?
Right? Yeah. Why does it matter? Unless you're asking a question that's kind of universal to everybody, like if you're asking if you want to be on my mailing list or stuff like that.
Right. Even still.
But the thing is, though, what I did like about the surveys is that now I can fill out one, because before, as many levels as you had, that's how many times you had to fill out the survey. So if you're one of these crazy creators that had like 40 levels, you had to individually create 40 surveys to send out, which is stupid. But now they updated, so you set up all your questions in one area, and then unless you have very specific questions about certain like add-ons, like say you're selling t-shirts and you need to know sizes, you only add that question to that item, and then it sends to everybody. At least it sends to everybody who pledged to a physical level. Whoever ordered a special item gets the specialty question, and probably and if you just did digital orders, you shouldn't be getting anything at all. So, but it saved a lot of time because I hated having to do surveys after,
Right.
because it would just take so long, because I had to copy, paste. Even copying and pasting, it would just be like, oh, come on. It's like, it's the same question, So, so I like the creator needs to update their survey. Yeah. I like the new survey system so far. Also I like the fact that it also tracks who answered the surveys in a separate page, like on the backer on the survey page itself, as opposed for me having to look in my backers and then have to click the tab, answered surveys or unanswered surveys. I just know at a glance, like how many surveys are left to answer, for people to answer. And also I think what it does too is that it gives it gives you the option to send out a reminder for surveys, like if you're about to ship and you want to lock in their addresses. So it allows you, because I haven't clicked on that yet. I figured it's like once I get the books, then, when I'm actually ready to pack and ship, then that's probably when I should use it. But then it's like it gives one more option for you to send out a direct DM to everybody saying, please fill out your surveys. The only thing that kind of I don't like is the fact that it only allows you to send out a survey once, because there's always people who say, oh, I missed my survey. Can you send it to me? Can you resend it? And you can't resend it, so I always had to ask them, like, okay, just send me your address in the Kickstarter DM, because Kickstarter won't allow me to resend a survey.
Right.
I think BackerKit allows you to do that, but I'm not that deep into BackerKit, so I don't know what it looks like. Jesus Christ, can't take you anywhere.
No, you can't. You can't. You can't. I need help, man. I need help.
Right. So I just use BackerKit to manage the mailing list, but not for like surveys and managing, pledges. I don't use it for that. So, also the other thing too, that I decided to do this time around, I had said that every time I finish a Kickstarter, because that's always been bugging me, because it's like so many people would either not fill out their surveys, and then when you remind them, oh, I don't have it anymore, can you send it to me, even though technically if you have a survey pending, it's in your Kickstarter account. So I don't know what it is that people are saying that they're not finding their surveys. Because every time I have to fill out a survey, I go to my Kickstarter account and there's that big honking banner at the top that says, fill out your survey, you schmuck. It doesn't really say that, but it says, fill out your survey. This campaign needs a survey. So it always says that. So I don't understand when people say they haven't gotten their surveys. So, but whatever. Right. It's like, it's a little inconvenient when I can't
my surveys sometimes feel spammy. Even how do you not get them? It's like, and then it reminds you, it's like, bitch.
Right, yeah, exactly. So so after every Kickstarter, I like to treat myself with a little something. And before, it's like every time I finished a Kickstarter, I would always buy like a new monster from Super Plastic, which is a vinyl toy store. And I
like toys too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reward myself with one soon.
Right, yeah, except yours is not vinyl. So I'm still waiting for us to you're gonna come back and say, oh, guess what we got? Oh, we got a sponsorship. Guess what we got?
Adam and Eve.
Yeah. So I usually get myself a little Super Plastic monster, but I ran out of shelf space. So no more. So yeah, I can't get because there's one in particular I really want to get, but I really don't have the space for it. So I decided to get a mani-pedi instead.
Self-care, treat yourself.
So I got my nails done and I got my toes done.
Let's see 'em.
And yeah, and
Come on, extra.
What?
Come on, dude. Man, we could charge for
No.
this content. Just give us the piggies, Daphne. Be like,
they look like this. They look like these, but on my feet. So and also I finally also at after I got them done, I also got my hair cut as well, because oh my god, this was getting so unruly. It was like this much that they cut off, and it's just like, oh my god. And especially in this humidity, I hate the feeling of anything against my neck. So it's like after I got my nails done, I figured it's like, you know what, Steinway's right there. Let me just go there and see like what salon is open and get this over with, because my usual spot is in Manhattan and is in the city, and I didn't really feel like going there. So it's like, you know what, again, let's see what's close by. And pretty much the first place I stopped, it's like, okay, you know what, I just need a simple haircut, and
Right.
I don't need anything special. And I decided, you know what, screw it, let's do it, right? So I finally got my hair cut, and it's like, I always
God, you could have just waited 7 weeks. I'd have done it for free.
Oh no, I couldn't wait anymore. I really couldn't. Because
I'm a YouTube expert at haircuts. now. Thank you, COVID.
I couldn't wait anymore, because it's like, it gets, it's like all that hair gets heavy, and like I said, it's always
Does.
against my neck, and it was getting harder and harder to like keep it up.
And then the weight makes your hair look thinner all the time.
Yeah,
Like you gotta layer that shit out.
Right. Yeah. It's like, and it's such a pain in the ass to wash, because it gets, and then it gets frizzy. There's probably like this much. The ends are all frizzy that just like you can't do anything with. And it's like, okay, so I always cut it a little bit shorter, because I want the haircut to last long, because usually I like it longer. But in this heat, I figure it's like, you know what, I'm going to keep it up in a ponytail anyway. So it's not going to matter if it's a little too short. It'll grow out pretty fast. So that's what I decided to do. And I decided that, you know what, I think I'm going to do that after every Kickstarter now. Every time I have a Kickstarter, I'm going to get my nails done and get my hair did.
Oh boy.
It's
But
like,
it keeps you on top, and it reminds you of your own self-care, because God knows
Yeah.
you just fucking neglect it again and be like,
That's
I'll
true.
get my hair cut next time.
right. Yeah.
Gotta
It's like,
make
look, I
time.
spent 2 years shrimping in this chair. The least I can do is go
Shrimping.
outside.
It's exactly it too, because we're like,
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you ever see shrimp eating? So right. So that's kind of like, so it's like, you know what, I might as well. Oh, it's like Den goes, in Chicago, we go to comic stores, and that's like the place to talk to other like-minded individuals, or Jewel, or the grocery store, for whatever reason, right? It's like, it's kind of like these like third spaces, right? So it's like, okay, you go to a nail salon, you go to the supermarket, you go almost like a real community. You go to the park. You go
I touched grass once. It was
touched grass.
terrible.
Right. Only because of the mosquitoes. And now we have to worry about super ticks. What is it? That there's a tick?
The Lone Star tick that causes veganism?
Oh yeah, because it makes you allergic to the
meat.
To meat enzymes.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of ironic.
One fucking bite.
Kind of ironic that it would be in Texas.
It's great. Right? The irony there is just it's comical. Come on, man.
Right.
And I'm sorry for anybody that gets it, but whatever. It's fucking hilarious. Especially to me, because it wouldn't fucking matter.
Right. Yeah, but so it's like, so going outside. So that's in the end what I figured. I mean, because this was especially a stressful campaign, but only in my head. It's like I spoke about this on Monday.
Yourself really well. Even handled yourself really well.
Oh, well, that's because, you saved the freakouts for behind the scenes.
Even behind the scenes, I was proud of you.
I didn't
I was
freak
so
out as
proud
much.
of you. You didn't. It wasn't like, oh my God, she's on the edge.
Right. Yeah. Again.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's greatness.
you know and so it's like, so I was thinking, like, you know what, let me, like, again, let me let me straighten out my spine, get the kinks out, and then
I don't
get my
wanna see the
nails
kinks
done.
out. I like my kinks.
Well, the ones that need to go. And it's like, I felt better after I did it. It was just like, oh, I feel a little on the human side again. I don't feel like a
Aw.
shrimp anymore. That is a funny visual. Oh my God. When I first saw it, that it's called shrimping, it's like when you kind of like, you're just like this.
Ever since you've said that, it never bothered me before. I'd see all the correct your posture videos
Right, yeah.
and shit, and when I'd think about it, I'd throw
Right.
my shoulders back or whatever.
Right.
And try to type like this, but my
Right.
arms are short and I can't
Yeah.
reach, so I always end up back down like
Right.
this.
Yeah.
And I bought the neck thingy to get to stop the fucking hump from coming up or whatever.
Right.
Because like I only want humps in the front.
Oh
That's it.
no.
Just here. I don't
Right.
want my
Right,
back to
yeah.
match. Like
Right.
and just like, but once you said shrimping,
Yeah.
all of a sudden it became more it's like
Right.
here,
Yeah.
like, oh no.
Right. No. We
I
don't
don't
want to
know.
be shrimps.
I
No
don't know why
shrimps.
shrimping bothers me so much.
But it is important to take care of yourself, because like, sometimes we get a little, sometimes we get a little bit too in our heads when
Right?
it comes to doing our work, and we forget that there's a little bit, no, really, we forget there's a little bit more, that goes with that, and but again, since we're talking about a little bit with ironies, right? So Jose has a Substack, JD has a Substack, for
Right.
those of you who don't know, and he's been writing regularly on it. And this latest article that he wrote, this latest blog that he wrote, right, was about the idea of patting yourself on the back for a job well done, right? Which in and of itself is not that
a bad
big
thing.
In and of itself,
But
it's not a bad
But
thing.
see, there's patting yourself on the back, and then there's publicly masturbating, and that's what
Well,
these guys do.
right. Yeah. No. Yeah. That's and
I mean, there's like, yes, I did it. That's good. That's good. That's
right.
the same thing. And then
Right.
there's this.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No, there really is a difference.
There's a big difference.
There really is a difference. It's kind of what is it? What's the phrase that there's only like there's a what is it, like a 9-inch difference between a pat on the back and a kick in the ass or something like that. So he was talking about something that was said on one of his shows where someone was saying that it was important to like celebrate what you've accomplished.
Right.
And like I said, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. But like you said, it's like there does come a point where it's like, okay, when that self-congratulatory, whatever pat on the back, there's a fine line between that and public masturbation.
Right.
And I had like, because there was like a couple of things that popped into my head when he was talking about this. So there's two things on. So there was this show years ago, I think it was Making the Band with P. Diddy before he became a felon. And
Back
And-
in my day.
yeah, back in my day. And it was when he was trying to put together the band Danity Kane,
Yeah.
and he was and he was like putting all these girls through all of this nonsense, because it's reality TV bullshit, right?
Right.
And finally they get to the episode where they're choosing the girls for the band. The last, they had like 30 girls and only 5 of them were going to make it through.
Right.
Or something. They started out with a lot and ended up with a little, it's like, but there were like 5 girls. They were choosing the 5 girls that were ultimately going to make the band. So they choose the 5 girls, right? And they're all screaming and crying, and it's like, oh my God, we did it. It's like, they got through like, I think like a season of nonsense. I mean, there was even an episode where Diddy made them run like untrained, these girls untrained, will run a marathon distance. Marathon distance in Central Park. And it's like, bro, it's like that's how some of it was sometimes nonsense. But it's like they were like crying and hugging, and it's like, and I just remember like Diddy just sitting at the table, where he was like making the announcements, and he's just like stone faced, just staring at these girls.
This is just the beginning. He hadn't done anything yet.
Right. Yeah. And he leans over to his assistant and he goes, look at them acting like they did something. They didn't do shit. I mean, it's like he's sitting there and he's actually really annoyed by it, because it's like, you guys didn't do anything. It's like, and you're acting like you did something, like you accomplished something, right? So that was the first thing that came to mind, where I guess that's, so it's like that these girls were literally like patting themselves on the back for just getting through the first round, kind of like, having a graduation ceremony for kindergarten. Right. It's kind of like Den. Oh, go back there. Oh. Den says selection process for music entertainment is tough. I saw that when I worked with girls like that. It was interesting how it's nonsense. It's overly dramatic and emotionally draining. Yeah. And they haven't even started the actual work yet.
Right.
They just did the circus hoops, so
notice me, senpai.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And senpai's like, well, what the fuck did you do? You did nothing. Right. So
you were better than the worst.
Right. Exactly. And that's kind of like, that was the first thing that popped into my head. It's like, oh, you got to congratulate yourself. Right. And, like I said, it's like that. It's like, well, okay. It's like, and then it's like there's the other concept of like, I don't know if this is anywhere. I think this is kind of like everywhere, that it's like you're only as good as your last project.
Right.
Right. I usually hear that like in Hollywood circles, but I've heard that in other places too. Like your own, like if you're putting together a portfolio, you're only as good as your last project. You're better than your worst. Yeah. And it's like, it's the same thing. Like there was this whole thing about New York Comic-Con, right? Where so many people got added to the waiting list. These were people who thought that they were shoo-ins because like, oh, yeah, I've been working in this industry for X amount of years. I've done this, that, and the other thing. How did I ended up on the waiting list? Right. And it's like, well, you're only as good as your last project.
Yep.
And it's like, I understand, like on a certain, yes, I understand it's annoying because a lot of shows do this and it makes it very difficult to plan, to go to these shows. If you're not sure if you're even going to get in.
Right.
If you even have a table, it's like we're talking about Artist Alley. They're still paying for the tables. It's not like they're getting free tables. They're still paying $600 to be there.
And still being told to wait.
Right. No, I think you pay when they actually give you a table.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. No, I'd be pissed. If I paid and it's like, oh, well,
because I know a few people that should have been, you'd think would have been shoo-ins, but they were told to wait, like people that have been regulars at New York, and and it's like, but at the same time, I understand the need to kind of keep fresh blood circulating through the Artist Alley, because I like the system that San Diego has for their small press area, where you have to, if you want to buy a table, you have to send them what new thing you're going to have
that year, like for the show.
Right.
Because they don't want, and you have to have a new thing every year, because they don't want that one person who puts out that one book and then like hogs up a table for 10 years with that one book, right?
Right.
No,
right.
you have to have a new thing every year, which I liked because it gave us a target. It's like, okay, I have to get this project done. I have to get that project done, because, I mean, in the end, it's like, that's what Kickstarter took Den says, I had a martial arts teacher say that for what it's worth when I was younger, it's a truism. It's also hard to know and it's planned. It's a good point. I went to Artist Alley in Chicago and San Francisco, and it's indeed different. Yeah. It's like, I have to know. Read Pop, you don't have to pay until you get the table. Oh, he's been trying to get into C2E2.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, how are you not
missing out, right?
Yeah, it's like, how are you not getting into C2? Like, do they curate the exhibitor booths too, or is that just for Artist Alley? But
that's nuts.
Because there's some shows that curate the exhibitor booths.
I don't know why I had it in my head. Rob's been to C2E2.
Yeah, I know,
like,
right? Yeah, so it's like, so it's like the whole thing, like with New York Comic Con, it's like, so what it boiled down to, you're only as relevant as your last project.
Right.
If your last project was doing a variant cover for Marvel 3 years ago, that might not be enough. Oh, yeah, I could imagine. Yeah, he's not paying for exhibitors. It's like, just because you did a variant cover for Marvel 3 years ago doesn't guarantee you a spot in the Artist Alley.
I drew a Garbage Pail Kid once.
Right. Tops. Yeah, exactly. Well, we do have a friend who did that. So that was kind of the thing. So it's like, okay, and then it's like the other thing, right? That Jose had brought up in the thing, because his whole thing with that was that he doesn't feel the need to congratulate himself for something he was doing already. It's like it's like, I guess it's like, it's like, it's like he has these 4 trade paperbacks. He has another trade paperback coming out, and it's like, okay, I'm doing these. What do I need to pat myself on the back? That's because it's
old hat to him.
Right.
I think the self-congratulatory shit is more for the new creator trying to fucking, except for the public masturbators. They jack off all over the place the whole time.
Right. They put out the one book, and then they're acting. Then it's the only thing they do.
Oh, it's years. A bestseller, and it's in Walmart because I put it on the website. Right. It's different on in two totally different words. We'll talk about
or it's like they have the one 30,000 campaign 5 years ago, and it's like,
God, right?
And it's like, okay, and right. So, so Jose was like going, it's like, yeah, I don't feel the need to congratulate myself for something that I'm doing already.
Right.
It's like, and he goes, especially since there's so much work yet to do, and the thing is that, and again, we're talking about a fine line here. Actually, the other thing that this reminded me of was, it was a Chris Rock skit, from one of his specials. It was a Chris Rock segment where he talks about guys who brag about taking care of their kids. Oh, I take care of my kids. I take care of my kids.
Ain't that what you're supposed to do?
And he's screaming, you're supposed to take care of your kids. That's not, what do you mean? You of course, you're supposed to take care of your kids. What do you want, a cookie? You're supposed to do that. And and it's like, so that's, so that was like the other, so that's what I remember when Jose said the thing. It's like, well, I'm supposed to finish my books. I'm supposed to continue. Why am I going to self-congratulate?
Right.
Right. And I don't know. And also, here's the thing too.
Morning, Jim.
Hey, Jim, self-congratulations, right? The term implies that you self-congratulate because other people aren't doing it. Right, which, okay, I can see like where that can be,
that's a mommy and daddy issue,
right? So it's like, so that's kind of so it's like that whole like self-congratulate, right? It's like again, it's like that fine line between like, okay, yay, I accomplished something, let me get my nails done.
I got a
type
praise
of thing.
kink and nobody will tell me I was a good girl.
Yeah, maybe that's kind of what it really is. But it's like there's like, it's a difference between, oh, nobody's going to congratulate me, so I'm going to toot my own horn, right? But the thing is, like, again, a fine line between that and it's like, well, it's kind of like when I show off my trade paperbacks, like how many trade paperbacks, my stack of trade paperbacks that I'm building, right?
Right.
And it's like, yeah, did I like showing that off? Sure. It's like, am I proud of the work that I did? Yeah. It's like, I love being able, to like add to this pile, to kind of like see where my work is going, but it's like, I have to, it's like, okay, like, oh, all right. So I accomplished, because sometimes just forget to remember how much you accomplish.
Right.
You work so hard, you're shrimping for 2 years, for 3 years, and you forget. You get so wrapped up on stuff that needs to get done that you forget what you accomplished. And sometimes you really do need to look at your stack of work.
You
and go,
do.
holy shit.
You do. Because I was about to say, fuck all this vain. This shit's been for naught and
Right.
everything.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
all of a sudden, when I went and resurrected the old Twitter account, there
Right.
I am 2 years ago begging for people to come follow me on fucking Facebook. I had 2,000 followers
Right.
on Facebook. I had less than 200 subscribers on YouTube. And it was like, what the fuck? And then it's like, now I'm at 36,000 fucking followers on Facebook and
Right.
over 1,000 subs on YouTube. And here I am thinking, I'm not doing anything. I'm not going
Right.
anywhere. Holy shit, dude. That's fucking phenomenal growth in that
Right.
amount.
Yeah. Right.
But when you're
yeah.
in it, you don't see it.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. And it's like, and yeah, so it's like, so sometimes you really do.
And so,
have
yeah,
to
I'm
sit back.
publicly masturbating.
Well, don't say that too loud, or else YouTube will take us off the air.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, so yeah, it's like, I agree in a sense that it's like, yeah, it's good to be able to look at the work that you've accomplished, right? But the Stoics also have this thing where they say, it's like, yeah, look at what you've accomplished. You can look at your past, study your past, but don't live there.
Right.
And I think the problem is a lot of people end up living there. It's kind of like the people who, it's like they peak in high school and everything they do is all centered around
I scored the winning touchdown.
Right. And it's like, bro, you haven't been in high school for like 40 years. I mean, it's like, calm down,
Participate in college football.
Right.
I get my shit confused.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever.
And so that's the thing. It's like, and the problem is when you live there,
right?
Because because if you're doing this right, there's still a lot of work ahead of you. It's like, honestly, there should be enough work ahead of you until you stop.
That's right. And I'm not done until y'all see me smoking a cigarette.
Right. Oh.
And I don't even smoke.
Right. So yeah, so that was kind of like part of the thing that he was talking about, where it's like he has, and he said it's like that he has thousands and thousands of pages in the bank.
Right.
It's like that he could stop, he could go pencils down on all his artists right now and still have enough content to run 15 more Kickstarters. But the thing, so yeah, so it's like, so yeah, is it important to it's important to acknowledge what you've accomplished, where you've come from, how hard you've worked, the change.
Right.
It's kind of like there's some artists who do like the 20-year challenge, where they take a piece of artwork that they did 20 years ago compared to like how or it's like Alex Ross posts something like this all the time where it's like he shows you a piece that he did in like grade school and like a similar, like he did like a piece of Superman, like he did it like
Superman was great. He was like 6 years old.
Right. And then it's like he shows you his latest painting of Superman, you know,
Right.
and it's like, you know, it's good to acknowledge those differences, you know. It's like, you know, it's like I've done this before. It's like I showed, you know, like the first sketch of Eagle Raven that I did compared to my latest version, you know. It's really, it's because it's interesting to see the difference. It's like, oh shit, you know, it's like, you know, you can see the trail of inspiration, and it's like, oh, I could tell with this piece, I can tell what books I was reading at that time that had an immediate influence on the drawing at the time. I mean, it's like, you know, because that's always fun, right? You know, so Dan goes, a clear end process after real effort. Knowing where you came from is really good. Alex Ross, indeed. I did say, yeah, exactly. You know, like that's good for your psyche.
Right.
That's good for your psyche to remember what you accomplished, to look over what you accomplished, to catalog what you accomplished.
Remember where you came from, but know that it's not who you are.
Right. It's like, yeah, it's like that was, yeah, exactly. It's like that was a different person. You're the person now, and there's still so much left to do. So it's like, it was kind of like, wow, you know, it's like, if this is how I'm working now, what's it going to be like next year, the year after that, you know? Although again, on the opposite end, don't live in the future either.
No.
You know, remember the past is done and the future doesn't exist. Or if you really want to get all stoic about it, the past belongs to death and the future doesn't exist.
Right.
You know, it's all about what you're doing now. What are you doing now? You know, so that's the important thing. Don't live in the past, but don't live in the future either. You know, it's like, you know, your now is now. That's what you should be, you know, looking at, you know, concentrating on. And so you have to be careful. Yeah, you have to watch, be careful not to become a public masturbator, where it's like, because so many people were mad with the New York Comic Con thing, with the wait list.
Yeah.
So many people were mad. But I did this and I did that. But don't you know who I am? And this, that, and the other thing. I go, look, the second you, I don't care who you are. The second you say, don't you know who I am? It's like, you know what? Who are you? Who are you? Do you really know who you are?
Right.
Are you having trouble? You know? I mean, yeah, don't say that. Don't say that. It's like, that is such a loser thing to say. It's not even funny. Because once you say that, it's like something in my brain shuts off, and I can't take you seriously for anything.
Yeah, it's like,
you know, don't you know who I am? Well, I don't know. Don't you know? It's like, are you having issues?
It like waves it. I may know who you are, and I still don't give a shit.
Right? Exactly.
It's like,
you know,
like I've people hooked me in my DMs for promotion and shit. Be like, do you know who I am? I don't give a fuck.
Shit. Yeah, exactly.
What?
Exactly. Who are you? Who are you? And it's like, and these are people, these are kind of like the equivalent of the people who peaked in high school. Right. You know, they're pissed off that it's like, well, I did this. I did a $30,000 campaign. Yeah, you did that 3 years ago. And you have never been able to accomplish it since. You know, what does that mean to me? You know, it's like, oh, you know, it's like, look,
all the time.
Right. Exactly. So acknowledge your accomplishments, but yeah, be careful with how hard you do that.
Yeah.
You know,
because this turns into
this. Yeah, exactly. And you know, and the other, depending on where you are, one of those puts you on a sex offender list.
Ouch.
You know, ouch. So that was like, you know, like something that it's like, so I was just kind of like, you know, so yeah, so if you haven't subscribed to Jose's Substack, go do that. Head on, you know, it's like, yeah, you can go to his Facebook page, JD Calderon, and he should have a link to his Substack. there. So you can read the rest of the so you can read the rest of the article as well. And since you're signing up for Substacks anyway, go ahead and sign up for my Substack as well. I don't get, it's like I don't get as navel gazing as that, but I do upload. I am currently uploading chapters to my fanfic and also chapters to the Ego Raven novelization. If you want to check out a different creative side of me on my Substack, and then whatever updates. I have to do an update soon because I haven't. I think I did the last update last week. So,
Right.
so yeah, it's that's kind of so that was kind of like what I was thinking. It's like, don't be the person who peaked in high school, like, and also the other strange thing too that whole conversation kind of like was that sometimes there's a benefit. I know it's very frustrating for a lot of people. You have high hopes coming onto Kickstarter, putting out your book, and then you kind of like get a lackluster. You're average. You find out you're average.
Right.
You find out you're average. You're in the 75% that's raising between $1,000 and $9,000, or but honestly though, there's a small mercy in that. I wear my t-shirt at certain cons for the ego people. Check your ego. You're drawing comics, not storming beaches. Oh, that's
Amen.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a good one, because really, I mean, people talking about their books like they're curing cancer, and it's like, bruh. It's like, bring it back a bit, which honestly, I mean, on a side note, on a tangent, it's the reason why it drives me crazy when there's some creators who talk about how important it is to have an ego in this business. And the problem is that when you listen to them long enough, what they're doing is confusing ego for confidence.
Yeah, you've got to, like, self-esteem and confidence is important, but ego is entirely...
ego, because it's like, you know what? Because it doesn't. Because here's the funny thing: the people who keep saying that, ego is everything. Oh, you need a big ego. They're the most insecure motherfuckers I've ever met. They are so fucking insecure, but that's how destructive being that dependent on your ego is. Because being confident is you telling yourself that you can do this no matter what. That it's like that no matter what happens, it's like, okay, that any setback you have on your Kickstarters, you can get over that. You can, read, if you read the signs, you can learn, you can, and like try to improve your situation. No matter what, there's always a way through, right? What your ego does is convince you that you can do no wrong.
Right.
What your ego does is tell you that, it's the masses that are wrong.
Right.
I'm doing everything right.
Better than.
I'm better than.
Right.
I'm better than. It's like, it's the people that are wrong. I'm not going to change a thing. It's like, and it's always to your detriment. When you listen to your ego, it's always to your detriment. Because like I said, it's like, I have never seen anybody who was just, like very ego driven, and it wasn't so pathetically obvious how insecure they are, and don't be that person. Don't be that person. It's like, be confident in what you do, but don't be ego driven, because ego will drive you in the completely wrong direction and then blame the truck for hitting you. It's not healthy. Just like, it's like, yes, enjoy your accomplishments, But yeah, don't do the equivalent of publicly masturbating, because it's like, you know what, if you're doing this right, you just started.
Right.
You're just beginning your journey. So it's like, you haven't even gotten through the first round. And it's like you acting like you accomplished something. Getting a first issue done is wonderful. But where's your second issue? Where's your third issue? Where's your fifth issue?
Right.
Where's your trade paperback? Where does your story end? Do you get to the end? It's like, how many, I mean, really,
what else do you have cooking in there?
Right.
What's next?
Right, exactly. What's next? And even then, it's like, I was saying, oh, this, like I said, it's like you get into Kickstarter and you have high hopes and it doesn't come out the way you want, right?
Right.
It's like, oh, I wanted to make a $10,000 campaign, but I only made 3. What happened? It's like, well, what happens? That's your first fucking campaign. That's what that is.
Right.
You have to build up to that. And look, and there's a chance that you might never see a $10,000 campaign. And you have to be okay with that too. Because it's like, look, if you're William says, I've been doing this for 5.5 years with 108 published covers and 6 issues of my own successful IP, and I'm still a baby in this. Be humble and respectful. Absolutely. Word. Look, I've been doing this since 92. I've been doing this longer since some people have been alive. And every campaign is like the first one. There's always something new to learn. There's always something. Something's different happening, right? Different trends affect things. Here I was just freaking out over $800. What turned out to be an $800 difference.
Right.
On my last campaign. Oh my God. The first week I was like, oh my God, I'm $4,000 behind. Oh my God. And then by the end of it, it's like, oh, I'm only 14 backers behind from volume 1 and only $800. It's not that bad. Oh, but my point, right, is that sometimes I think it's actually a good thing that a lot of us don't experience the luck of
on the first campaign
of having a success, like an unusually successful campaign.
Right.
You put all that effort into a first issue, you put it out. Oh my God, I just made 10 grand. That fucks you up if you're not prepared for that.
Right.
That fucks you up. Because how many times have we seen people have that first successful campaign and they never
can't make 2K the next round.
Right. If they even put out a second issue.
Right.
Like they see that type of money for the first time and they think they're balling.
Right.
And it's like, and then it's like it fucks up their trajectory for like the rest of whatever they were trying to do.
Because they're flailing about trying to meet that number instead of create the product,
Right, right. And it's like, and not accepting the fact that, maybe their book isn't what, it wasn't what their expectation is for it.
Right.
But if your story is worth telling, if you feel your story is worth telling, you're telling it anyway.
Right.
It's, because I remember, like, because the funny thing is like, because I remember I still feel derailed by how successful my first volume was. Up until that point, I thought I had like a really good pattern going with my individual issues. I was kind of like, oh, I did 3,000. Oh, I could do 4,000. Oh, maybe I can get it to 5,000. Maybe I can get it to 6,000. Can I get it to 6,000? Right. And it's like, and that kind of gave me like, kind of like a clearer road as, it's like, okay, it's like, could I make an extra $1,000? Could I, move it the next step? Right. And, and my expectation for volume 1 was only to make 3. I was expecting that huge dip.
Right.
Because I was completely convinced that people were more interested in individual issues than trade paperbacks. So I was preparing myself for that. It's like, okay, my issue 4 made $6,000. Like, okay, so the first trade paperback, it's going to make 3. It's going to be half that, right? That was my
And then it
expectation.
makes 8.
And then it makes 8.4. And I have been kind of a little off the rails ever since. You know?
Because it threw off your maths. But the reality is there are a lot more people that are trade waiters now.
Right.
Like,
you know, so
1, because we're not sure we're ever going to see issue 2, or we're so fucking like weighed down with all these fucking long boxes that we don't even have room to put our feet properly under our desk because there's 20 fucking long boxes stacked all through here with nothing but fucking floppies.
Right. You know, so yeah, so that, you know, so my next issue came out, right? So it's like, so 4, so 5, you know, 6, 7, 8, and they're all ranging around like 4 or 5. Right. Instead of like, you know, where I would have expected the individual issues to be at 8 by now. Now the trade paperback threw my maths off. And I think that kind of why it kind of heightened my anxiety with every subsequent campaign. Even though technically there's no reason for it. But so I can only imagine the absolute nutty shit that people are putting themselves through when they
come out the box with those numbers.
When they come out of the box with those numbers, or they finally reach that number, and then all of a sudden it's just a downward trajectory.
Oh yeah, that's a whole other ball game.
That's what Saturday,
motherfuckers.
Yeah, or some people who do 10 to 30 campaigns and they don't fulfill your orders. Yeah, because it's like they've never seen that money before,
kind of money in lump, and they're like,
and then they split.
I'm balling now,
right? When they're doing shit. They're not doing you know, anything. It's like, let me put it to you like this: if your Kickstarter was a salary, you would be qualifying for Medicaid.
Let me go. I'm headed to the food stamp office right now.
Right. Yeah. You know, so it's like, yeah, it's like, so yeah, so people are acting, you know, again, it's like, oh, you're all acting like you did something. But like I said, it's like, I kind of understand.
Get the fuck out of here.
You know, it's like, make sure you cosplay too. You know, so you know, it's like, yeah, so I understand kind of the way people are like bugging out. Certain people, you know, they're bugging out. It's like, yeah, it's like you see those big numbers, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh, why am I not getting that anymore? Why am I not getting? I mean, look, we've seen people who they were making $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a campaign. Right. And now
they're struggling to make 10.
Right. Now they're struggling. Now, mind you, me and Jose have this joke. I would love to fail at 10. I would love to fail at 15. Right. You know, but it's like, you know, imagine it's like, look, honestly, and I don't know if we would have been any different if, like, for some reason, holy shit, our book just made 50 grand. You know, you know, I mean, it's like, because, yeah, it's like, I don't think we would have been any different, except for the fact is how many more campaigns can we put out? You know, if we could do one 50 grand campaign, how many 50 grand campaigns in a year can we do? Right. But then you have the whole mess of like, what if this was just a fluke? What if the next campaigns don't make 50 grand? Right. And that's like, oh, what happened? It's like, look, here's the funny thing. You didn't know what got you to that 50 grand to begin with. So how are you going to replicate it?
And sometimes your backers don't either. I mean, once they get it, they're like, what the fuck?
Right. You know, I mean, yeah. So it's like, unless you know specifically what you were doing to get that number, most likely than not, you can't imitate it. You know, that's the fluke. Sorry. Kickstarter George should not have been counted. He was an outlier, should not have been counted. You know, so it's like, yeah, so we have to kind of like, yes, enjoy your successes, celebrate your
Right.
successes. You know, because it's like, look, it's like running a marathon. Shit, it's like running a half marathon. It's like
Right.
only like 0.01% of the population has accomplished that. You know, and I've done 4 of them. You know, I mean, you know, it's like not a lot of people do what we do. So, you know, so it's like, yeah, so it's like we should celebrate it, you know. But the thing is, though, is that I ran my last half marathon 3 years ago. That doesn't mean shit on my next on the fact that I haven't been training that entire time. And it's like, if I wanted to run another half marathon, I'd probably end up dying in the middle of it, because the difference between that last half marathon that I ran and any half marathon coming up that I have not trained for is a recipe for disaster. Right? You know, just because you made that variant cover for Marvel 3 years ago doesn't guarantee that you get a spot in
Right.
New York Comic Con. You know, it's like, yeah, it's saving my running for the zombie apocalypse. You know, yes, hopefully we get the ones that just drag their feet and not the runners from
God,
20
the
days
runners
later.
is that's it,
No,
bro.
that's it. No,
No, fuck it.
You
I'm just
know,
gonna run towards them.
right? Yeah,
The walkers, I'll run from. The
Right.
runners, I'm just gonna get this over with.
Right, really. You know, so yeah, so enjoy your accomplishments, but remember there's still work to do. You know, it's like, don't live in your past, don't live in the future. You have to do your work now, because that's what counts now,
Word.
you know. But yeah. You know what also counts now? Turning on my goddamn air conditioner. I thought that I could. I thought
That's what I
that
just had to
could
do. I
go-
couldn't take it no more. I had to
Yeah.
open the door and shit. My ass crack is soaking wet, and I hadn't pissed myself. So it was like I had to do something.
You know,
Ooh, I might have
because
took off
like,
my pants too, but I ain't gonna tell y'all that part.
Right, yeah, you're just gonna. Everyone's gonna have to speculate.
I'm wearing clothes. Fuck.
Right, there you go.
I like my slippers.
Right. Oh, very nice, very nice. Very in theme to the campaigns that are coming up now.
Professional. Yes,
Very
that's a-
in theme to If It Hops, which is on. Is it on pre-launch right now?
Mhm.
Right, and then
Yeah.
also very on theme to
House of Bob.
House of Bob, which is also on pre-launch.
Wolfpack
right now.
pups. God damn,
Wolfpack-
I am fucking
Oh,
flooded
that's
and furry
true.
right
Yeah.
now.
Wow. Yeah. Slippers. We have slippers for the occasion. You know, because like, yeah, it's like I thought that maybe it had cooled off enough that I can kind of like give my AC a break, but it's always around this
It
time.
is. 100% professional.
Very professional. You know, it's always around this time that I really start feeling it. You know, I guess because
Right.
you know the sun really starts to hit it. It's
Yeah, your
nearing
office
noon.
is crazy, and I've only been there in the fall. I
Yeah,
can't
because
imagine
I am
being there
directly
in the summer
facing
heat.
east, so when it's full sun, it is goddamn full sun in here.
And your office is all windows.
Yeah, it's all wind. It's like a greenhouse. It's literally a greenhouse. Sometimes there could be a 10-degree difference between the front of the
fun,
house
William.
and back here. Yeah, so take care. And you know what? I think that this is where we should probably end it too.
Yeah, because my butt crack is like really, really. I need
Yeah,
to go take a
you
shower.
know, right?
I need
I
a
know,
shower
right?
after a fucking vlog, dude.
You know,
The leather chair
So-
doesn't help. I do.
Oh,
miss
that's
the
true.
soft chair right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
I didn't
You
when
get-
it was
you get
cold
all
in
the-
here. It didn't really matter. Now it's like,
Yeah, you got to sit on a towel. You put the towel down, so you're not
well, I
sticking
have
to the
one
chair.
now.
Right. You're not sticking to the chair. You're a shrimp boil now. Oh my goodness. So you have any announcements? Any more
No,
announcements?
just look, if you're watching us on YouTube, please like, share, subscribe, help us grow. I'm not putting as much effort into promoting the channel as I once was. One, I've taken on a bunch of new jobs, but two, I'm also going to school soon. So I'm trying to minimize the work I'm doing. So anybody that I promote, if you give me a little love during this time, that would be fucking epic of you guys. I'm going to try to keep the blog up And I do have a show coming up that we'll be talking about later in the fall with April.
Oh, really?
It'll be an ethereal comics center. We're going to bring on the artists and creators from the company, and and maybe do some draw streams, and there'll be giveaways and such. We haven't figured out all the odds and ends, but that's coming soon. Yeah, and then I gotta take this trip. So y'all fucking help me monetize on Facebook. Give me comments on Facebook, people.
Right,
like my post on Facebook, please. My numbers are dropping, and I need money for New York.
The meme wars cannot sustain itself.
The meme wars are not sustaining me right now.
Oh my goodness. And so like I said, links are in the show notes and in the chat for House of Bob and all the other campaigns that we spoke about as well. So check those out. They're in pre-launch. Rob is live right now. Pick up your Rodney plush. Cause like that's really I when I saw it, it's like, you know what? I need that. I need that in my life.
It's adorable.
I need that. So so that's it for us today.
You, Michael.
Yes, Nita is getting educated. So thank you so much, everybody in the chat, for joining us. Thank you so much to all our beautiful eyeball people watching us from regions beyond. Thank you so much for putting up with us for this hour and 10 minutes, watching me sweat. Dab.
I wish my face was sweating. It's not my face. It's my back. My back is sweating.
Oh yeah, no, that's bad.
I gotta get something to cover this fucking chair.
That's true. Yeah, like I said, a towel. Usually I put a towel there. Oh my goodness. So if you want to learn about me and my artwork and my campaigns and all that other fun stuff, you can head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS. You can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites, but I mostly post to Facebook if you're interested in seeing sketches and current work in progress updates. And you can also find me here on YouTube at Daphne Lage, Lage Art, for almost 600 videos and draw streams. And speaking of draw streams, my semi-weekly art live streams Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern. I'll try to make sure to do one next week. I usually alternate. That's usually what the schedule is. That's why it's semi-weekly. I usually alternate it. So I didn't do one this Wednesday. So this coming Wednesday, I should be doing one. So we're still working on the never-ending Tall Tales cover. This is what happens when you do a comic with a cast of thousands. Yes. So it's Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern. It's 2 hours of me drawing from 4 to 6. Just talking to the chat, and we're just talking about anything. It's literally a free-for-all when it comes to conversation. And yeah, it's kind of like being at a convention, but without me spending $1,200 for a booth and you blocking the table. So fun time had by all. You can also read Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, for free, uploading every day, Monday through Friday. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a furry Lord of the Rings adventure, you can head on over to Tall Tales. That's TAILS online.com. And not only can you read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free, but you can catch up on the latest story arc, Tears the Mother, which is also currently uploading Monday through Friday. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, chat. Thank you, eyeballs. And in the words of the ancients, eat your food, moisturize, mind your business, and do the work. Because when you actually do the work, it's always worth it, and you never have to fake any of your accomplishments. So thank you so much again, and we'll see you next time.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.